Hi, I'm Emily. I work at Scythe Supply in Perry, Maine, and I'm going to be working on a blade repair. This is the blade we're working on. It has some divots, tears, and what I'm going to be using to make those repairs is this file. I'm going to file everything down to a nice smooth finish and then bring it back out with the jig. And then I would move on to do any regular sharpening, but we're just going to focus on the repair right now. So here we go. Let's see how far we can get. So it's pretty rough right here. So right now I'm just trying to file it, get some of that junk off so it files a little more smoothly. Now I can start working down into some of these and cutting some of this back so I can get a nice smooth line. And as I'm taking it down, I can flip the blade over and remove some of that excess. You can see it coming off there. Now my angles on this, I'm really going by feel a lot. So you saw when I first started, I'm just trying to get this junk off, so I'm really kind of staying with the bevel of the blade. My file is almost laid back to the rib here. But then when I'm really trying to scoop it down, I'm not exactly perpendicular to the blade, but I guess I'm at like a 45-degree angle. And then on the back, I'm really just coming straight back, trying to stay with this angle of the blade here. But like I said, a lot of it is really just by feel. Now, as I'm filing, I'm wearing away any of the bevel of the blade, which I'll finish the repair by going back and recreating that bevel with the jig. So let's work on this one right here. You can see this is torn so that it's actually coming up towards me. It's helpful to have a really sharp file. And the great thing about these European blades is that you can take it back and bring it back out with the jig. It's like a never-ending blade. Sometimes it helps to look at the back. I can see that tear comes all the way down to here. So I'm going to have to go all the way down just a tad beyond that tear to make sure I totally eliminate it. It's easier to see that on the back than it is to see it on the front. So you can see we've really taken that down almost to the edge of the beveled part of the blade there. So we're really going to have to draw that back out when we peen. It does take some effort, and you can put the effort into it without worrying about breaking anything. Okay, so now since we're out here and we're doing pretty well here, I'm going to go ahead and put some of the bevel back into the blade just by filing. So my angle is going to be pretty close down to this rib, and I'm just going to file pretty straight out. Now you might think if you use a smaller file you wouldn't have to take off as much. You could really get tighter in there, or if you had like a round file, but you want to make these, you want to round these out really wide and smooth to make sure that you're eliminating any of the mess in there. So it can be a benefit to have a wide file like this one. Focusing on one place, I'm just kind of taking in the whole blade at once and working along as I see. Filing this bevel in really helps me see if there are any mistakes that I missed. It gives me a nice, smooth, clean edge to look at. Okay, so now we're going to move to the jig to work some of this metal back out that we pulled off. So I'm going to start with the #1 cap. You can use any sort of hammer for this because your hammer is coming in contact with the jig, it's not coming in contact with the blade. And let's start on this area here since this is the most dramatic and we're really going to have to bring this out the most. So I think this is the best area to show you. So you don't want to put as much pressure on your corner points, but I am going to start a little bit beyond just to work into it, but this is going to be my main point of focus here. When you're using your jig, you don't have to wail on it, but you do need to put a little bit of muscle into it. I wouldn't say muscle, I would say effort. So I'm slowly moving the blade along as I'm hammering down on the cap. And you'll notice I'm resting the blade on my knees so I can keep it nice and parallel to the floor. And it's coming out, but I'm just gonna keep going over it. And I can see that I need to bring it out even further up this way. I need to bring the metal out. So I need to be working from here to here. We're making some progress. You can see this is starting to draw out. Still need to put some focus in. Our focal point is narrowing. And you'll notice I'm pretty choked up on the hammer. That's to give myself a really good amount of control. What do you think, Richard?
I think you got it about as far as you're going to go for now.
Okay.
It's starting to curl there at the corner, but there's enough there to sharpen, and over time, subsequent peenings, that hollow will disappear altogether.
Okay.
But if you're in good shape, you peen the whole blade and sharpen it.
Great.